Jason and Emily had been together for 5 years. Their relationship built on trust, love, and an understanding that they both valued their independence. So when they planned a much-needed getaway to a tropical resort, Jason had no issue when Emily casually mentioned wanting to visit the hotel bar alone one evening. "I just want some time to myself," she had said with a smile, swirling her cocktail as they lounged by the pool earlier that afternoon. "You know, have a drink, listen to some music, maybe meet a few people." Jason nodded without hesitation. "Of course, you should. It's vacation. Go enjoy yourself." She had kissed him on the cheek, appreciative of his easygoing nature. That was how their relationship worked. There was no jealousy, no suffocating rules. They trusted each other. Later that evening, after dinner, Jason found himself too exhausted from the day's activities to join her. The combination of sun, salt water, and endless cocktails had left him sluggish. He watched as Emily changed into a sleek black dress, her hair still damp from their swim, her skin glowing from the sun. "You look amazing," he told her. She grinned, giving a small twirl. "I'll text you if I stay out late." Jason smiled and watched her go, then settled into bed, scrolling through his phone for a while before finally dozing off. Sometime past midnight, he stirred. The room was silent, except for the faint hum of the air conditioner. Groggily, he reached for his phone, checking the time. 1:12 a.m. There were no messages from Emily. At first, he told himself it was nothing. She was having fun, probably lost track of time. But as the minutes stretched on, unease settled in his chest. Emily was responsible. Even if she was staying out late, she would have at least checked in. He tried calling her. No answer. His stomach twisted. He sat up, rubbing a hand over his face, debating whether he was just overreacting. Maybe she just didn't hear her phone over the music. Maybe she was perfectly fine, laughing over a drink with some other vacationers. But something in his gut told him to go check. Throwing on a hoodie, he slipped into his flip-flops and headed downstairs. The hotel bar was still buzzing with energy. Music pulsed through the warm night air, laughter and clinking glasses filling the open-air space overlooking the beach. Jason scanned the crowd, searching for the familiar sight of Emily's wavy brown hair. At first, he didn't see her. He walked deeper into the bar, pushing past groups of vacationers, his pulse quickening. Then, in the far corner, near the dimly lit outdoor lounge, he spotted her. She was sitting at a small table, but she wasn't alone. A man sat across from her, leaning in just slightly too close. He was tall, well-dressed, with an easy smile, his posture relaxed as he spoke to her. Emily, on the other hand, didn't look so at ease. She was smiling, but it wasn't the kind of smile she gave when she was comfortable. It was tight, forced. Her body was angled slightly away, her hands resting stiffly on the table. Then, to Jason's growing unease, the man reached across the table and lightly placed his hand on top of hers. Jason's breath caught. At first, his rational side tried to reason with what he was seeing. Maybe she was just being polite. Maybe it was nothing. But the longer he watched, the clearer it became. Emily wasn't engaged in the conversation. She was trapped in it. He moved without thinking, weaving through the crowd until he was at their table. "Hey, babe," he said, his voice calm but firm. Emily's head snapped toward him, relief flashing in her eyes. "Jason!" The man across from her looked up, studying Jason for a moment before smirking. "Oh, is this your boyfriend?" he asked smoothly, completely unfazed. Emily immediately stood up, stepping closer to Jason. "Yeah, and I was just leaving." Jason kept his gaze locked on the man for a second longer, before turning to Emily, gently placing a hand on the small of her back as he led her away. They walked in silence back to the hotel room. Only when the door closed behind them did Emily let out a deep breath, rubbing her temples. "Thank you for coming," she murmured, shaking her head. "He seemed nice at first, but then, I don't know. He kept buying me drinks, asking weirdly personal questions. When I tried to leave, he kept finding reasons to keep me there. Jason exhaled slowly, the weight of the night settling over him. He thought about what could have happened if he had just brushed off his unease, if he had rolled over and gone back to sleep instead of following his gut. Emily was safe. That was what mattered. But as she curled up beside him that night, falling into an exhausted sleep, Jason lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He had always trusted her, and he still did. But from now on, he knew one thing for sure. He would never just let her go alone and assume everything would be fine.